Good afternoon, friends. This is Dr. Shailesh Trivedi. I am to explain in brief about the macrovascular complications related to diabetes. To be very brief, we go to 2010 when there were 240 million cases of diabetes mellitus, and by 2030 we expect this to swell up to 550 million. This is a phenomena rise. This is an atomic explosion like situation. This is like a volcano which has erupted. And if we do not control diabetes at this juncture, probably all of us will have to price, apart from health, economical burden, social burden, and other complications as well. Now, in diabetic patients, 60 to 70% of them, they die because of cardiovascular, that is because of the heart and blood vessels related, big blood vessels related complications, which includes stroke, paralytic stroke. Now, it is vice versa also true. If you see, what I want to say is diabetes itself is a risk factor for the vascular disease, and that is almost up to 5 times. So, American Diabetic Association and American Heart Association have considered the term diabetes as cardiovascular equivalent, meaning by which is that diabetes can be considered as a disease of a vascular tree itself. I want to highlight some unfortunate 3 cases which are still hovering in my mind all the time whenever I discuss this. A young man in early 40s who had diabetes mellitus for 10 years, uncontrolled diabetes mellitus, obese patient, a chronic smoker, having a sedentary life, and he had all of a sudden chest pain, perspiration, vomited, and pain to the left arm. He was immediately rushed to the hospital. Cardiogram was taken. It showed heart attack. And immediate coronary angiography was done. Coronary vessels were dilated. And fortunately, the patient is still with us. Another incident is of an old man, which is still unfortunate. He was a 65-year-old man, again an uncontrolled diabetes mellitus, and this man, on one fine evening, when he slept, when on the next day morning, when he got up, a diabetic patient, when he got up, he just could not move his left upper limb and left lower limb. That is a left hemiplegia or left paralytic attack. This is another unfortunate incident. One of my closest friend, a good footballer, who had a bright career, who was suffering from type 1 diabetes mellitus, which began at the age of 15. And at the age of 25, he was well controlled. And he developed, unfortunately, because of a bad shoes, a blister, followed by an ulcer, followed by this ulcer going into bones, eroding bones, non-healing ulcers with bones, lasted for long months, few long months, and ultimately his leg was to be amputated. This is a very painful situation. Painful situation, if you can imagine, for a footballer whose career is now almost diminished to zero. Diabetes, there are 2 types of complication. One is a micro. Micro means small, macro means big. Small vessels related complications and big vessels. Small vessels related complications includes eyes, nerves, kidney. These complications, they have a lot of sufferings, agonies, pains, what we call it as morbidity. And macrovascular complications, they are associated with unfortunate mortality, that is death rate, along with profound agonies and pains, which is again a part of unfortunate disease of diabetes mellitus, complicated by cardiovascular disease event. Now, if you see, every 10 seconds, there are 3 new cases of diabetes is added to the world of diabetic population. And every 6 seconds, there is a death of a diabetic patient, of a person who is having diabetes. Now, in diabetic patients, 60 to 70% of the patients, they die because of the cardiovascular event. That is either because of the heart attack or because of a stroke, which is hemorrhagic or whether it is non-hemorrhagic. This 60 to 70% is the major contribution for the death, and it is not a Miyagi figure. We consider diabetes, you must be wondering why these patients of diabetes do they die when they have only problem of sugar. I will explain in brief. Look, whenever diabetes is diabetes is a disease of sugar. It has associated comorbid conditions, associated complications. But when sugar is on higher level, the blood vessels which are there in the body, this sugar directly damages the blood vessels in other ways by chemical humoral complex mechanism, where the vessels which need to be dilated in certain conditions or the protective mechanism gets affected in diabetes mellitus, and that dilatation mechanism gets lost. This is the basic. And you would like to ask me, or one intelligent person would definitely ask a question, that can we prevent it? Can we postpone it? Can't we stop it? Can we reduce it? There are so many questions. Yes, my dear friends, we cannot prevent it. We cannot stop it, but we can definitely make our sincere efforts to reduce it. The reduction has been observed by our scientific studies. One of the best well-known and well-studied study in our modern medical science was from United Kingdom, that was UKPDS, and it showed that in the initial part of the diabetes, when it is well controlled, this results into a long-term benefit of cardiovascular event reduction. That is, heart attack reduction was observed up to 15%. That was almost observed after almost 25 years. There is an associated complication which is also equally important. Like high blood sugar, there is a low blood sugar. Now, low blood sugar, when it is less than 70 milligram percent, it is called low blood sugar. And how does it affect? Low blood sugar, basically, it causes the blood to become a before it gets thickened, there is a pro-thickening status of the blood. This hypoglycemia, this low sugar level, it causes the pro-thickening of the blood, which ultimately results into thickened blood, and thickened blood gets clotted, and that results into acute catastrophe. So, this is again proved. There are very famous studies in our science, modern medical science, particularly Accord, Advance, and BET studies. So, high blood sugar, low blood sugar. Similarly, if you have a blood sugar which is continuously between 140 and 180, I am happy. But someone has 140, it is going to 200, 110, 300. So this swings of blood sugar. It is not desirable. It also damages the inner lining of the cells, and that also ultimately culminates into complication, and it helps in genesis of atherosclerosis, or what we call it in simple language as hardening of the blood vessels. Now, if you see this, how this atherosclerosis or how this hardening develops, again it is a simple process, but not that too simple to understand. Whenever high blood sugar is there, it involves the innermost layer of the blood vessels. That attracts a special cell from the blood which is called monocyte, which is attracted towards that particular point. And here this monocyte engulfs the lipid molecules, and these lipid molecules, then these cells, they conglomerate together and they form a thin streak which is called a lipid streak. And these streaks combine together, they form a big hump which is called a atheromatous hump, and a bigger hump, atheromatous plaque. Now atheromatous plaque, sometimes it is soft, sometimes it is hard, and this atheromatous plaque has a tendency to get ruptured anywhere, anytime, in any condition. How and why it happens, when it happens, it is difficult to predict, but it does happen. And when it happens, the cell component of the blood, what is called platelet, the function of the platelet is what? It helps in clotting. Whenever there is a bleeding, immediately this cell comes and helps in blood making thick. Whenever this happens, there is a rupture of the plaque. At that point, these platelets come, they adhere themselves and form a minor clot. From minor clot, the whole cascade gets activated and it forms a major clot. Once the major clot is formed, the blood vessel, whatever it is going, it gets completely occluded and it results into total cessation of the blood to the given area where this blood vessel was supplying to that particular part, whether it was heart, whether it was brain. I'll explain, this is what it is. If you see this is a simple artery. This is the inner part of the artery, this is a lumen. Here this is the beginning of a fatty streak. This is what this fatty streak gets deposited, and it is the first part of the atherosclerosis. It is the beginning of the atherosclerosis. If you see this, it can be easily seen. And if you see here, this thinning, this fat streaks, which ultimately gets over the endothelium, inner part of the cells, conglomerate, they get together, they form a little bigger atheroma, or a structure called atheroma where it is bigger, and ultimately this atheroma gets still bigger in size and forms a big atheromatous plaque. And as I discussed, this ultimately narrows. If you see this lumen, it is very big. My 2 fingers are almost going. Here, my little finger is going. So this results into less blood supply, and this is what the process of atherosclerosis. One goal is very simple. You treat the associated comorbid conditions like blood pressure, treat the condition of high cholesterol, treat the person has to change the lifestyle. He has to have a good, healthy diet, preferably Mediterranean diet, which is proved to be beneficial to the diabetic patients. And if he is a smoker, he should stop smoking. If he is obese, he should cast his weight at least by 7 to 10% of his total weight. That will also help remarkably. Now, combined together, but the first and foremost goal is what? You have to select your anti-diabetic drug, and the selection, remember, if your friend had one X drug which was helping him for diabetes management, it doesn't mean that it would help you also. One size does not fit all. Remember this very, very clearly and leave this decision. Don't be a Google doctor. Leave this decision to your treating doctor, who is a master, who will help you, who will explain you, and with your consent, you will be the decision maker. You will be the part of the decision maker as a patient, and we, as a healthcare provider, will be very happy to include you in our team as a decision maker. In conclusion, what I want to say is that whether it is heart problem, whether it is a stroke problem, or whether it is a amputation, amputation sometimes in diabetes is seen up to 15 times as compared to non-diabetics. Stroke is seen up to almost 1.6 to 4.6%. Now this 150% to 400% rise is seen in diabetic patients who are likely to have stroke as compared to non-diabetic. So in genesis of all, the carry-home message is simple. All of us join hands together and we fight for the diabetes. Whenever I think of a diabetes, I have a dream. I have a dream that I see a family coming out of the way and the diabetes is left behind. Thank you, my dear. If you have any questions, please ask me.